Greetings everyone, Zannrath here. Welcome back to more Everlasting Summer, where last time, everything went according to plan. At least I think so. I think that's the only time, so far at least, that a girl has actively planned to do what she did. Right? Slavia was kind of spontaneous in the forest. Lena, it was after everyone left, right? So maybe actually that was planned. But Alyssa certainly had a plan, and I think she got what she wanted. And then what happened? We fell asleep. She fell asleep afterwards, and then we fell asleep. So now I guess we're having a nightmare because some people were chasing me. Or maybe they weren't people, but fuzzy black blots with a hellish landscape in the background. Maybe they're strawberries, like that other nightmare we had. But I actually don't remember exactly what happened in that nightmare, but I also don't understand what the symbolism is. Anyway, I ran, stumbling over something, having no air to breathe. My whole essence was overtaken by primal fear and terror. And then a memory lapse. Alright, we're back here. It's day 7, right? It's day 7, yes. I opened my swollen eyelids. Why are they swollen, man? Are you like crying? Did you cry afterwards? That's pretty tender right there. I opened my swollen eyelids only for my eyes to be struck by bright daylight. I'm guessing she's already up for whatever reason. A terrible taste in my mouth. Oh man, Semyon. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but pains all over my body and a severe headache. It seems someone was drinking hard yesterday. Oh, okay, that's what he meant. I thought something else, Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind was my friend told me about this story on Reddit about a guy and a Jolly Rancher, and it involved a girl, and let's just say there was an STD involved too. If that's enough to tip you off to what story I'm referring to, great. If it's not, then I don't know. It's better. It's probably better that way for you. After coming to my senses, I started to recall the events of last night. I believe there was a bottle of vodka, which I happily emptied together with Alyssa. I tried to stand up, but something was pinning my left arm. Of course, it was the peacefully snoring Alyssa. Man, Alyssa, you gotta get that checked out. Sleep apnea, not something to mess with. Everything that happened returned to my mind. Fear was quickly replaced by a feeling of euphoria. Oh, it was gonna be funny if it was the other way around. It's like euphoria was quickly replaced by fear. It's like, oh no, she's pregnant. Just kidding. It's a game. That can't happen, right? I relaxed lazily on my bed, enjoying the beautiful hungover moment. Wait, so you're fearful of being hungover, but then you realize you got laid, so you're like, doesn't even matter. I guess that's one of two outcomes when you get drunk, right? And something happens. Sometime later, Alyssa woke up. I kissed her softly and said, "Good morning." I like how you're dressed too. She gave me a blank look for a couple of seconds, and then jumped up and shouted, "Oh my god, so much regrets." That's right, regrets. You! Me what? Yesterday is she gonna tell people I raped her? Oh my god. She hissed. But it was kind of your idea. I was drunk. Yep, really smart decision making. So was I, what can you do? Alyssa was furiously looking at me, but then calmed down and sat beside me. I actually don't remember, what were the laws about consent now? Because I remember there was a thing that passed, at least in the US, was you have to get explicit consent. It can't be maybe or implied consent. It has to be direct consent, otherwise it could be construed as rape, I believe. But I don't remember what happens if you're drunk, because, well, one, if you're drunk, you're not fully cognizant, right? Or at least most people aren't, and you have lacked or impaired decision-making abilities. So I don't know if being drunk, if you give consent while drunk, does that count? But anyway, Alyssa was furiously looking at me, but then calmed down and sat beside me. Alright, whatever happened. Well, I'm glad you have that approach. I feel like that's very, I don't know how to describe that. You sure? I don't know if that's just maybe naive or a mature. I don't even know, man. I got up and tried to hug her, and she punched me in the stomach. Nope, don't. Oh man, this is so embarrassing. This is so awkward. It's like, oh man, we got drunk, did a little bit of stuff, and now she's like, don't touch me, I'm disgusted by you. It's like, great, man. Semyon, what a guy. She whispered, blushing. Why? Wait, she does like me still though, right, I think? Because Alyssa frantically shook her head. Because it's 4 o'clock already. It's time to go. And what? Don't tell me you're late for something. Oh man, she's late, but not in the way you want. Oh, so funny. I don't know. Everyone will leave without us. Leave where? Today's the last day. The last day of what? I asked, completely confused. The last day of the term. I thought it was called a session before, but okay. What? Or what? The hangover that seemed to have already passed a while ago made a sharp comeback. Don't tell me you didn't know, asked Alyssa in surprise. So you did know it. Well, yes, but I'd forgotten it somehow. And what should we do now? Actually, that wasn't the main thing that I was concerned about, right? It's the other form of being late, right? That he's worried about. Maybe. If today is the last day, then everyone will go somewhere. No, he's worried about something else. So I can get out of this camp somehow. Well, I have no idea. Maybe we can still make it. I jumped out of the bed and started to dressing quickly. It was difficult as my coordination was badly disrupted or disturbed by yesterday's lavish indulgence. I'm wondering if he's talking about the vodka or Alyssa, indulgence. What are you waiting for? Alyssa didn't reply, but started dressing too. Okay, that's nice. Comrade. Looks like she was already dressed, but I guess maybe that's the censored part. A couple of minutes later, we were standing at the deserted square. And hardcore, I don't even know if this is hardcore, but intense Russian rock plays in the background. Let's go to the camp leader's cabin. After opening Olga Dmitrievna's cabin with my key, I found nobody inside. We checked the entire camp and found that we're alone here. So I guess the only time we actually get to leave is with Slavia, maybe? Because, I don't know, she's the good one. After returning to the square, I sat down and covered my face with hands like a doomed man. Wait, if this is a camp, shouldn't they, check to make sure that everyone is, on the bus before they leave? With Lena, I can kind of understand that, because at least she told them, hey, don't worry about us, we have some stuff we need to finish up. But with, Alyssa, come on. You don't see two of your pioneers, you're just not gonna bail on them, right? I still felt sick, but now it turned out that I had to solve a serious problem. Where would they have gone? Well, to the district center, I guess. Do you know where it is? Approximately. Is it possible to reach on foot? I mean, anything is possible, right? But whether it's time efficient, don't know. And how long would it take on a bus? A couple of hours. Yeah, you could probably walk that in a couple days. Have you ever Google Maps something or how long does it take to drive there? 20 minutes. And it's how long would it take to walk there? The whole day. I don't know. I still feel like that's a really funny option to have when you have on Google Maps, where you actually have the option of choosing how long it is to see how long the path is if you walked. Quickly, I reckoned how much that is in kilometers. Taking into consideration the quality of Soviet motor car industry and Soviet roads, one could presume that it's quite possible to reach it on foot. I guess back in the 80s, maybe? When this was supposedly taking place. Provided that Alyssa knows the exact direction. Moreover, in my situation, it's not easy to decide on such steps. But we can't stay here either. Alone without food in a deserted pioneer camp. In real life, it would be a definitely bad idea, and I had no other choice but to treat everything happening as reality. Let's go. Where? To the district center. Are you mad? You prefer to stay here? Sure. They'll notice that we're missing and we'll return. I mean, I'd hope that they would notice that you're gone, before they left, but evidently that's not the case, so don't count on it. Don't you know, or don't you think it's odd that they didn't notice it during the party? Yeah, there you go, Semyon. Semyon knows what's up. Well, yeah, but she started to think. But to go somewhere all on our own, and didn't they leave at 5 or 6? It's only 4. Come on. But you said you knew the direction. I do. She agreed without confidence. So what's there to think about? Maybe we'll encounter some local buses on the way. What are you gonna pay with? Or are bus routes free in Russia? I don't believe that myself, but if there is an exit from this camp, this idea seems quite solid. I don't know. You say, maybe you should like go to the cybernetics club, whatever. Maybe they have like random segways or something, because I don't know why would they have segways, but sure. Or bike, probably still a bike. There are probably bikes in this camp, right? She prated on confusedly. Or you can get in the boat and go down the river, although that probably doesn't lead to the district center, but still, that's, you know. Then start packing your stuff, meet here in half an hour. I ran towards Olga Dmitryevna's cabin. Yes, not much to pack. Uh-oh. I wonder if Lena is like, stay behind and she's gonna like do something to us now. Because that was my working theory of what's gonna happen as Alyssa's bad ending, right? Like someone's gonna get stabbed. I kind of feel like if that were the case, I feel like it'd be more likely that Alyssa gets stabbed than me. Because I already died in Semyon's bad ending, right? Because that bear, whatever that voice is, we call it the bear. I tossed my warm clothes into a bag, and I was about to go when an interesting thought crossed my mind. What would I actually need them for? It doesn't seem to be late summer, so what's the point of dragging unnecessary weight along? This is like the only time I think he's thought about that. Especially since I don't know how far I have to walk. That makes sense considering he's actually walking this time rather than taking the bus and all the other times. After reasoning that one could survive such weather without coat and warm boots, I shoved my cell phone with its dying battery into my pocket and went to the square. Comrade. I had to wait at least 20 minutes for Alyssa. My hangover seemed to ease a little so I could better focus on the previous night. What does she really mean to me? Was it just drunken sex or something more? Naturally, I can't speak for Alyssa. It's difficult even to speak for myself. I began to remember the course of my acquaintance with her, how she teased and mocked me at first, her arrogance and self-confidence. It was more than compensated for by the tenderness of last night. All right, so ladies, evidently for Semyon, if he speaks for all men, then you can be a jerk to us and just have sex with us. It's okay. Evidently, that's what I'm learning from this game, right? At least from Semyon. It was already clear that she is not the person she wants to seem like. But what kind of person is the real Alyssa? And do I have any feelings towards her? I do feel sympathy, a sort of affection, but is there something more? I'm kind of sad that there's no Lena punching Alyssa in this route, at least so far. That was really funny. My reflections were interrupted by Alyssa. Here, take it. Of course, gonna make me carry it. She held out a huge backpack to me. What's this? I asked skeptically. My stuff. Why so little? I brought as much as I could fit. Look, we don't know how far we have to go. Maybe you can take only the most necessary things. So she handed me a huge backpack, and I asked her why is it so little. And then she said I brought as much as I could. I don't understand that exchange there. It seems like they're thinking two different things. Yeah, and then there's that line. So what? I just have to throw it all away? Leave it here? Alyssa sniffed. Firstly, I couldn't understand why she has that much stuff, and secondly, what's so valuable in there? But the chivalrous duty of carrying it is mine, isn't it? Of course. She smiled archly. I evaluated how much it would weigh. What would she bring to camp? Like, clothes. What else do you really need? You're gonna have like your DVD player in there or something. Like, I don't know, a hair straightener. Your easy bake oven. I don't know. About 10 kilos, I guess. I can carry that for a few kilometers, but not much further than that. You do understand that we'll not get very far with it. Well, we'll do our best. You mean I can throw some out later, or something out later? We'll see. She answered with her eyes flashing shyly. Okay, I'll take you at your word. After all, as I have to carry it, I have the right to throw things out of it. And so, our journey began. Nice. Hey, this scene. It took me at least an hour to start getting tired. That's pretty good. I would have never thought that I possessed such stamina. Either the backpack was easy to carry, or last night's exercises had trained my muscles. Okay, sure, that's nice. I'm gonna take a sip and let that kind of simmer. I didn't know you did leg stuff during intercourse. I guess you could. Sure, there's some position lots for that, right? I stopped on the roadside and threw Alyssa's belongings to the ground. Threw it on the ground. My dad's not a cell phone. Yeah, Lonely Island, right? What are you doing? She was clearly resentful. Do you want to carry it yourself? Of course not. In that case, I need to rest. Naturally, the most rational decision was to get rid of most of the stuff, keeping only the most necessary things, but I couldn't bring myself to such drastic measures. You've been keeping silent for the whole time. Alyssa was staring vacantly down the road that receded into the distance. What is there to talk about? I don't know. But you're behaving as if nothing happened. Did something happen? She asked, absent-mindedly. Well, had enough rest, then let's go. Alyssa began to quickly walk away from me. Hey, wait a minute. I shouldered the backpack and ran after her. We've been traveling in silence for some time, with Alyssa slightly ahead and me behind. I'm sure that was one of the positions you guys tried last night, right? Yeah, high five. I had no idea how to start a conversation. She seems to be giving out obvious hints that the night's events were one big mistake. Oh man. Is that why that's the bad ending? That it was like, it was a mistake, and then the good ending is that, it wasn't actually a mistake. At last it seems so to me. Though, from my point of view, what happened was meant to happen. For the last few days in the camp, I definitely been attracted to Alyssa. And I believe she was attracted to me as well. In that case, what's the problem? Maybe she doesn't want it to be just a one-night stand. Oh man, that could be true. Maybe she's all like super sad that like we're leaving now, and it's like, oh man, one-night stand. She turned around and looked at me. If I did something wrong, you did nothing wrong. But it just turned out this way. So it was just an accident? I didn't say that. Then what did you say? Why is this music so, like, intense now? Not so intense, but, like, feels like it's building to something. My inability to get a straight answer made me begin to lose my temper, and I raised my voice. You're just giving me hints, ambiguities. What about straightforwardness, sincerity? You weren't like this before. People tend to change. She slowly paced forward. Change? You call this a change? You're a completely different person now, just like Lena. Oh. Alyssa stopped but didn't turn. Don't compare. Got it? Don't compare me with her. She spoke quietly, but there was a rage in her voice. What? I was somewhat taken aback. You blame me for everything, but what about yourself? You're constantly looking at her. Even now you managed to see her in me. Wait, why did you come yesterday then? That's the point, right? Get it? Wink. Wink. You could have gotten to her. You did know. Did know what? Whoops. She was waiting for me too? Oh man, Semyon. Why didn't I get a choice thing prompt? That would've been funny. I guess I could've. Wait, how does Lena things? I don't remember how Lena's thing worked out. We ended up in a forest, I think, right? And then, for some reason, the next day, we woke up and then, like, it was really late, and we slept past the leaving, or whatever. Didn't know that I was waiting for you. Wait, what? Kind of gone. You did know that I was waiting for you. It seemed that making this confession was a hard decision for Alyssa, but at first I assigned a little significance to her words. Well, you yourself told me to come yesterday, so This isn't about that. Alyssa burst into sobs and covered her face with hands. Not her hands, just random hands. Oh, is that what's in our backpack? Just people's hands? That makes sense. I was completely taken aback. I still didn't get what she was hinting at, so it was impossible to talk normally. Sorry, forgive me. Stop apologizing. But, if I said or did something wrong, so what's the point of apologizing? Oh man, the S's in those apologizing are kind of getting to me now, but it's okay. If you already did, better behave yourself from the beginning. But I don't know how. Alyssa looked up at me. There was so much sorrow in her gaze that I couldn't bear it and turned away. We stood like that for some time. Soon, she seemed to pull herself back together. Okay, forget it. Let's move on. Naturally, I couldn't forget it, even if I wanted to, but I had nothing to say anyway, so I followed her in silence. And it's dark now, and we're in the same exact spot. Or it's like in those, it's like in a lot of open world, like, MMOs or whatever, and you have that whole, terrain pasting or whatever, where you want to have like a big expansive forest, so you just basically paste the same blocks like repetitively over and over. It's always really funny, right? Like that, right? That's what this is. It's like further down the road, but it's just the same terrain pasted over. The sun was slowly moving below the horizon. I was immersed in thoughts and even forgot about that heavy backpack on my back. I had to say something, do something. Alyssa was expecting me to. At least a few words. But what should I begin with? I'd gotten used to everything in my life being quite simple. Any task seemed to be already finished after only a few steps. Instead of considering the long way to my goal, I immediately started to think about the results, enjoying the unachieved victory. Moreover, I doubted that I had to face a situation like this in the real world. Obviously, for a long time, I dreamed about a person who could care about me. But right now, such a person in front of me is in front of me, and yet I feel nothing. And I can't tell Alyssa either yes or no, just because I don't know what will happen next. Meanwhile, it got dark. I guess we should make a camp for the night. There is not that much left to go. Are you sure? And even so, it's better to travel during the daytime. You know best, she answered coldly. We stopped at the edge of the woods, maybe? Wait, do we even have camping gear? Like, do we have like a blanket or like a fire starter? Got anything useful in there? I pointed at the backpack. Have a look. Mainly footwear and clothes were there, but on the bottom I found a magazine and a box of matches. Quite enough to light a fire. How convenient. I'm surprised she let us burn her magazine. I was expecting somewhat of a fight, some resistance. Soon we were sitting on a fallen tree and warming our hands by the fire. Only now did I finally realize that I'd finally gotten out of that damned camp. I'd found no answers. On the contrary, everything had become. I'm sure everything had become even more tangled as, I guess, I'm spending the rest of my life in this reality. If I don't take into consideration all the sci-fi stuff, it's clear that I'm somewhere in the South at the end of the 80s. How, and more importantly, why I was brought here is not so important now, as I have to somehow adapt. And I ought to begin with the girl sitting by my side. So, what will we do when we reach the district center? Call our parents. What else? Alyssa smiled slightly. She had someone to call. And then? And then it's all over. Meaning, well, we'll leave for our homes. I wasn't really surprised by this answer. I just hadn't thought about what would happen after the term ended. And that's it? What else is there? I don't know. After all that happened? But nothing happened at all, she told me merrily. What do you mean nothing happened? You'll have a chance to find Lena. I was surprised, but Alyssa said it absolutely kindly. As if I need Lena. I wouldn't be so sure. And I am sure. Let me decide for myself. Yes? When did you start to do such a silly thing? I suddenly remembered my current age. 17 years ago. Well, admirable. But, to be honest, I didn't notice anything like that. What exactly should you have noticed? that you are able to say something without a single doubt. She was absolutely right on this point. And what exactly you want to hear? Do you want to hear, I think? You know what? This game of hints could last forever. If you want to know how I feel towards you, then I'll speak frankly. I don't know myself. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Alyssa turned away. What can I do? That's the truth. And what can I do? I don't ask anything of you. Yes, are you sure? Sure, I answered after a while. And what were you doing all 7 days in this camp? What was I doing? You were asking, weren't you? I was asking, what was I asking for? For what reason? Can't you talk in a way that people can understand? The mind readers are on vacation. If you wanted to, you would understand. That's pretty true. I can't understand without an explanation. It's okay, it's just idle talk. She stood up and went towards the road. No way! I lost my temper completely, so I jumped up, ran up to her in a couple of strides, grabbed her hand and pulled her towards me. Ooh. We're back to this again, huh? Didn't get enough last night? But I had miscalculated the amount of strength I should use, and we fell to the ground with Alyssa lying beneath me. So you pulled her towards you, and yet somehow you're on top of her. Gotta love those physics. What? Yesterday wasn't enough? Want more? Man, I'm so good at predicting lines in this game. Just kidding, I'm not. It's just inevitable. Her face was glowing and her eyes were flashing. I felt really mixed up. I released the girl's hand, but didn't stand up at once. I just wanted to understand where did I go wrong? Why are you always thinking that you went wrong somewhere? Because you think so. Who told you that? I didn't. But I can see it. You see everything, don't you? You see and draw conclusions that you shouldn't interfere, that you should lie low, say nothing. I draw conclusions based on logic. Are you sure that logic of yours is correct? Yeah. Yeah, logic in emotional situations is not always the right play. I didn't know what to say about that. For some time, we just lay there. I was completely confused, and it seems that Alyssa didn't want to continue our conversation. Finally, she pushed me away and stood up. Why are you here now, with me? Because everyone left the camp and we stayed. Not the right answer, man. I'm not talking about that. Well, because I like you. There you go. Should have started with that, man. Finally, I dared to say it directly. Are you sure? And what about Lena? She was always next to you. Maybe she's too much work. And what about me? I'm very simple. Just snap your fingers, I'm in your bed. Oh, Alyssa, did you just call yourself a slut? Oh, man. That's cool, though. I wouldn't say it's that simple with her. I wouldn't say so either. You do need to get her drunk first, so it is a little bit of work. A little bit of an investment. Don't put words in my mouth. You said nothing, so there's plenty of room in there. Oh, man. I'm not gonna make an oral joke there, but you guys can use your imagination. But you think for a dozen others. Well, she was absolutely right on that point. I didn't think anything like that. So, do I have to just simply behave or believe? Not behave. Believe all this? Of this? You don't have to believe. I'm not forcing you. But it's the truth, so I'm not going to make anything up. Words should be proven with actions. What action is she expecting from me? Well, we could do it again. Semyon, you're like the stupidest guy ever. I don't think offering to have sex with a girl, I don't think is necessarily a sign of love, right? You can misconstrue it as like a sign of affection and love, but realistically, you know, when someone is doubting whether you like them or not, I don't think it's good to just put forward having sex as your go-to. I said with a stupid smile, quite stupid indeed. I had no idea how I even dared to think of joking in such a situation, especially a joke like that. Sure, come on. Really? Alyssa, you're gonna buy this? Well, she says snap your fingers and... Alright, well, there you go. Done. Alyssa said in a calm voice, walked to the fire, and started to undress. Alright, I guess maybe she's an exhibitionist too. So, I jumped up, ran to her and grabbed her arm, and he's not gonna do it, I'm sure. Semyon is better guy than that. What are you doing? Wait, I didn't mean that. Nice save. Well, what's the big deal? Don't you need me just for that? Of course not. You got me all wrong. How should I get you then? She pulled her arm free and started crying. I laid down beside her, hugged her, and started patting her head. Everything is alright, calm down. Leave me alone, she said through the tears, but didn't try to free herself. You see, I had a hard life before this camp. I just haven't gotten used to it. I don't know how to act in situations like this. I've been alone for a long time, no friends, no loved ones. I have just forgotten how to feel and how to love. It's hard for me. It's so easy not to get mixed up in those matters. Finally, it's became just normal not to. It's become just normal not to. And here we are, something I never could have imagined. I guess she's gonna buy into the sob story, I think. Although I guess it's kind of sincere. Semyon is finally opening up to her, and I think that's what she wanted. It doesn't mean that I'm an egotistical bastard. Although I guess it seems that maybe I am. Oh man, did Semyon just tell us that his parents were married when he was conceived? No, he was just using it colloquially. I just can't do that right away. Alyssa didn't reply and continued crying. But I know one thing for sure, there's nothing between me and Elena. She's a friend, nothing more. I never looked at her that way. Except in the last playthrough, right, Semyon? And I need you. Not only for what you think I want. I just don't know how to tell you the things you want to hear. They'd carry obligations. You see, I'm in a kind of situation now where I don't even know what will happen to me in the next hour, and here, Alyssa seemed to not be listening to me at all, or my excuses just didn't reach her. Well, I should be proud of myself. I made a girl cry. And which girl? Alyssa, who at first glance seemed to be a complete stranger to any romantic feelings. You know, I can't make this decision for both of us. I can only say for myself that I am ready to be with you, to support you, to protect you. But you, why do you need me? I have nothing in my soul. I don't know what I want from this life. Besides, I'm here now, but tomorrow I might be gone. Alyssa stopped crying for a moment. Don't you understand that I already made that decision a long time ago? Then, she looked up at me with teary eyes. I might have seen happiness in them for a moment. Alyssa embraced me and tenderly kissed me. It was the best kiss of my entire life. No, it wasn't as passionate as the one last night, but there was so much tenderness, trust, and love that I just dissolved in her lips, in her arms. I forgot about everything, about the camp, about my past, and the doubts which were tormenting me a moment before. She was all that I need. Well, that's nice, because that's all you're gonna get, because I'm gonna end it right here, because, I don't know. I feel like every time we get to a point where it's like, we're gonna wrap it up, it's gonna go for like another half hour, because I don't know if it's gonna be like Lena's story where, for whatever reason, we get like a whole like 20 years into the future kind of family story, or if it's just gonna be like, there's like 2 more screens and we're done. So, I'm gonna go ahead and take that risk, because Semyon, you got her. You're all she needs, and she is all you need. And that's nice and sweet. And, I'm just waiting for this to go completely south, because I'm pretty sure we got the bad ending. Hopefully, I did that correctly. But, we'll probably figure out next time. So, until then, thank you for watching. Bye.